This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,535. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk.
Amen.
Montgomery. And you are in the Men's Room. On tap today, 2 of the dumbest songs of all time on a Bad Choice Friday. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
Drunk. All right, here we go. West Virginia man busted growing weed, tells cops he doesn't trust drug dealers and does not like pills. Meanwhile, to Japan, where trying to rob a store with a lighter is one of life's many thrills. Then you get thrown in jail. Man who applied to be an officer calls 911 to see if he got the job. To Wales, where people are demanding that the red dragon on their flag should include a thing that does throb. And a man learns if you kill someone, it's not a good idea to go back to get your cell phone. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I know you already know this. People clog toilets. I mean, it's the sole reason for the invention of the plunger. But it's more the how and why a toilet gets clogged that seems to be more interesting. There's a guy in Texas. He backed up his toilet after he tried to flush his cocaine and meth during a drug bust. It didn't work. He ended up flooding his own bathroom, but at least we can understand why he was trying to flush his drugs. Defying our ability to understand, we go to Pennsylvania, where a man clogged his toilets when he tried to flush. If you guess potatoes, step up and grab your prize. Now, no one knows why he was putting potatoes in the toilet, but his story ended with his arrest. Now, there's still people who clog toilets with good old-fashioned dookie, but it doesn't stop their stories from being ridiculous. There's a woman in England. She threw her poop out of her boyfriend's bathroom window because it wouldn't flush, and then had to be rescued by firefighters after she got stuck trying to retrieve it. We'll share the full story later. Or how about the other woman in England who carried her own turd up to her boyfriend's apartment after clogging the toilet in his lobby? But clogged toilets aren't the only toilet-related stories. There's a guy in Austria, not Australia, but Austria, who was sitting on the toilet, and then a python popped out of the water and bit him on the gooch. Or how about the man in Spain who set off the silent alarm at a bar because he got drunk and fell asleep on the toilet? By the time he woke up, the bar was closed, the windows were locked. He set off the silent alarm and the police had to get him out of there. Now, we have more toilet stories, and they're all as stupid as all of these, as most toilet stories are. And that's what today's question is. Today, we want to know, what did a toilet have to do with the story?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hold the Charles and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,535. That'd be 3535 to you and me on a positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
What a large and in charge program we have for you today. The exciting return of Ted versus the FCC. And don't forget, as we do a little bit more Men's Room for you every Monday through Friday at 6 on the Odyssey app. Men's Room Happy Hour. We will, in fact, have a Ted versus the FCC redemption as well coming up for you today. Of course, we will drink and toast in the weekend with a shot of the day. Then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
All right, today on Bad Choice Friday, our sit and spin on Tuesday with Ryan Castle had the 10 dumbest songs of all times.
Yes.
So we picked a couple of those, starting with the Trash Man.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird's a winner. Bird is a winner. Well, a bird. Well, a bird is a winner. Well, a bird. The bird's a winner. Well, a bird. Well, a bird is a winner. Well, a bird. The bird's a winner. Well, a bird.
Follow along if you can. The Trash Man taking on the artist known as Elvis.
What does the fox say?
Oh, we are rocking into the weekend. Yeah.
It's so stupid, I'm happy.
Will it be a bird or a fox? Here's how you vote on our Bad Choice Friday. All you need to do is follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. The poll is up and ready to go. One of the two tunes coming up right after Drink and Toast the shot of the day. Will it be the Trash Man or Elvis? Servant Burner. What's that the fox say?
It's a true Bad Choice Friday.
It really is.
We,
Living
like
up
the
to his
last
name
few
today.
weeks, we've had a couple songs people like decently like it's a battle of the worst.
It really is. But they're both fun. You know what I mean? At least to get you into the weekend going in the right direction.
They're fun in a I want to
dumb
kick
way.
it kind of
Yeah,
way.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if that came on in the club, I might get up and finally dance. Just
What
depends
the fox says?
Either one.
You'd be dancing by yourself.
Oh man, I'd be cutting it up. Like, look at that old white man up there.
Oh my! That would be no offense, but that would be on par for you.
What if three 24-year-olds just came up to me afterward and like, oh my god.
I'm just
You're
picturing
the
like a
best.
nightclub, like
Yeah,
everybody's in the flow, like the DJ's killing it, and then he puts that on. The floor empties.
Watch out! Towards the floor. I'm on my way. Hold my white claw.
If you're dancing to this, you might as well go back to Vodka Red Bull.
What's your name, baby? Where are you going? Where are you going? No, you stand here. It's okay.
I don't know. There's something sexy about him. He's giving off like a dad at a wedding vibe.
I wonder if his daughter's here. Oh, man. Dad, get off the dance floor. You're scaring my friends.
You find the nightclub when she's 21. We'll all go and dance to that song.
Yeah, okay. It's coming up in December. We're close.
Everybody's
Yeah.
about
That's with your dad. Come on.
Where do they get this DJ?
Dance with your dad's co-workers.
Who is this DJ? Your dad gave him $50.
I want to text my DJ buddies. Which would be weirder to hear in the club?
That is tough, man.
I feel like this one would be weird to play in the club. What the Fox say is new enough that it would be a little bit nostalgic. Okay. This one, no way, man.
If you play one, you can play the other. That's my thought,
man. I put $50 up there. He's going to play whatever the hell I say. All right, on to our question today. We're going to talk a little bit about toilets. What did the toilet have to do with the story? We start with a story out of Texas where a 41-year-old man was arrested after he attempted to flush drugs, resulting in a clogged toilet. San Antonio police were executing a search warrant when they arrested Carlos Bach. And when questioned by police, Bach said he tried to flush the cocaine and meth down the toilet. According to the arrest affidavit, you have to see the picture of this. I mean, it looks like the entire toilet is filled with like Tide Pods, but they're little bags of cocaine. I mean, it's
and
filled,
meth.
It's filled to the top. When the toilet began to overflow, he attempted to use the sink in the kitchen to then dispose of the drugs. When police searched the residence, they also found documents with narcotics transactions that were also floating in the toilet, which Bach had also unsuccessfully tried to flush. So there is a guy. I've never really tried to dispose of anything down the toilet before.
No.
Maybe in an airport bathroom once because I got it wigged out. But other than that, I don't really think that.
What are you disposing of?
Marijuana.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know why, man? Because I put I brought my bag. I had to take a crap. I brought my bag into the stall.
Yeah.
I could smell it. Like, I could smell it coming through the bag. I'm like, oh, this stuff reeks. You know what I mean? It reeked. And I'm like, I can't do this. So I didn't know. I'm too paranoid. I'm going to flush it.
How much, man?
It wasn't a lot. It was just like an eighth or so, but I'm sweating under my pits at this point. I mean, it reeks. It reeks. I mean, I'm like, God, I can really smell. And half the time I can't smell it that well.
Right.
But this was overpowering. I'm like, I got to get rid of this. Even to the point where even when I went through the x-ray, they're like looking and looking and looking.
You know they can smell it.
Yeah, of course they could. My whole bag smelled like it. Like, even when they open it up, they're like, whoa. And I'm like, no, it's not in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not in there.
It was, but it's not now.
I got wigged out, throw it away. But, yeah.
I like your honesty, guys. It wasn't here. It really was. But I freaked out and I threw
it away.
Like, not a joint with, like, a crutch in it, but just, like, a joint you roll at home that's just, like, the end of the paper. I've probably flushed that before.
Yeah, maybe that's about it.
I think some of those papers are biodegradable anyhow.
Yeah, I hope so.
More than the wipes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Every once in a while, they say, we're both entertained and grossed out by a story involving taking out poo from the toilet, and usually is to do with how embarrassed a person is to have taken a huge dump in someone else's loo and clogged it up. Well, this time, the woman diving into the toilet bowl is a 19-year-old care and support worker. Her name is Eden Grant. She isn't used to doing a number two at her boyfriend Cray's place. Luckily for her, there's a toilet in the lobby, which she grew accustomed to using.
Okay.
Now, this is this is a great idea. By the way, if you ever have to share a room with a friend and you go out of town and you got the two queen beds in the room, I mean, or maybe you're going out of town for the first time with someone you're dating or whatever the deal is, and you just don't feel like blowing up the hotel bathroom, you can always go downstairs. The lobby bathroom is almost always empty.
Yeah, I did it
always empty.
In New Orleans or Mississippi. I was staying with brother Jerry. First time I met the guy, we're sharing a room, and, he's taking a shower, man, and I got to drop a heater. So I went down to the lobby, did my business. When I came back up, and I explained to him what I did, he's like, man, you're weird. I said, Jerry, you're naked in the shower. He's like, well, you can come in and poop. Now, keep in mind, he's a college football player.
He's a locker room guy.
So, I'm like, yeah, but you know what, man, still, even if you were my best friend and I've known you from day one, if you're naked taking a shower, I'm not going to walk in the bathroom and poop. It's in there, and you don't drink or eat like I do. Right. So understand what's coming out of me is not something I wanted to share. It was horrible.
You can definitely tell who played high school athletics.
Oh, yeah.
By just working out and going into the locker room at any gym.
Oh, he would come walking out of the bathroom and just swing it like... Dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, grab my underwear. I'm like, why can't you just
I
put
don't
it in
need
the
to see
bathroom
all
with
of
you?
that.
Oh, yeah. And he's hanging, bro.
Yeah. I'm not going to put that on the high school. It's really the like once you get to college, and if you've played any level of pro, all my buddy, like they just don't care.
No,
I believe he was 4 years starter collegiate. And I mean, he rolled out of the bathroom. I'm like, that's a big brother with a huge hog.
Well,
you know, he's just talking to me. Hey, you going down to the casino? Like, Jerry, please get dressed before I start talking to you about the breakfast buffet. I can't look at your penis and think about eating food all at the same time.
Well, you know what happened, man? He got the first game of the season, his senior year, he got hurt.
Oh, yeah?
He got hurt, so they put in the freshman. They're going to put him or Todd, the guy who played third base for the Rockies. Can't remember his name. He was like the third string quarterback.
You got to tell him who the freshman was?
Freshman was Peyton Manning.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
That was the last time Jerry was on the field. Peyton came in and said, I can do things. Anyway, we go back to England, and unfortunately for Eden, the trip downstairs was a bit more memorable than other trips. That's because Eden had clogged up the toilet in the lobby. So naturally, she decided to scoop up the poop with some gloves and a bit of tissue to take to her boyfriend's to then flush up there.
No!
Yes. A panicked Eden recorded herself, and she was mortified by the events. When she called to tell her boyfriend that she had clogged the toilet, he decided to film too. The video has been shared on TikTok over 1 million times, but Eden and Cray Cray now find the whole situation hilarious. Eden explains, I can't go to the toilet in the same flat as my boyfriend. I just can't do it. I think we know why. So I usually go to the toilet in the lobby, but for the last couple of days, they've had people going in for leaks and stuff. The other evening, we went for a meal, and I really needed to go. So I went, and then I couldn't flush. And I was like, OMG. I picked it up with gloves and a bit of tissue and took it upstairs to dispose of. I told my boyfriend, and he knew the whole dilemma and locked me out. He thought it was funny and disgusting, like anyone would. Our question, what did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Just somebody try to help me with this. So, she's uncomfortable pooping in her boyfriend's apartment. All right? Mm-hmm. Whatever. It is what it is. So you go down to the lobby. That's fine. You block up the lobby. So you're uncomfortable to poop in this bathroom, but you're comfortable enough to put on gloves, scoop a turd,
right,
out of and then bring it up to his bathroom.
That is
if
correct.
I'm her boyfriend, like, baby, you got to make a decision.
You thought that weed had it, that bag stuff.
Right. You can either poop in my bathroom like a normal person or poop in the lobby, but do not poop in one place and then bring your poop to my place.
That seems strange.
Right. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. We can't work like that. Wherever you poop, that's where it needs to stay. Whatever you do to that toilet is its own business. But you got to be kidding me.
I just won't go in there for a while. Just give me the heads up on the level of how bad it is.
It's fine.
I don't want to go in there. Like, it's not in my best interest to want to walk in there either.
No.
So if you just give me the heads up, I'm cool.
But
also, like, you're a human being. You poop.
Right, but don't bring it to me, man. You're like a cat with a bird. Like, I don't want this.
You come upstairs with poop on you?
But you won't just poop in the bathroom.
I would take it outside and throw it in a dumpster.
Anything, right. The last thing I wouldn't even do that, man. I might just go to the whole lobby, whatever person, say like, hey, man, and say what everyone says, and you know they're lying. Somebody backed up the bathroom.
But unlike you, you've dealt with this before. I've never had to deal with an unflushable turd. I might have to.
Hadn't either.
I might have to deal with a backup because there's something in there, like a toy, or just the fact that it's just clogged with paper or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it was never the size of one that needed like a poop knife or anything like that.
Look, I've never done it myself personally, but I'll just say in the last, I don't know, since November 13th of 2010, this has been a problem presented to me, and it's unbelievable, man. And it's like 4 times a week. Hell, Ted was over, like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
You're there for like 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, the toilet got clogged and she needed to have Oreos. And Ted just looked at me and said that everything you say is true. I said it is. Like, she blocked the toilet. You know why? Because she pooped.
Did she come and tell you?
She never comes and tell. And that look,
what is the
I don't know, like, if she's embarrassed or, I mean, it's not even, I don't get mad that she does it. It is what it is. All right. But my main issue with her is like, hey, you have got to come and tell either me or your mom, either one of us, that the toilet's backed up, man. It's okay. I get mad when obviously you didn't tell me, and it's been there for 2 hours.
Well, I thought you put it in a brand new toilet. I figured. So here's what my theory.
Yeah, we did. We put it in a new toilet.
My theory was that it was an older toilet. Maybe just didn't have the power of the swirl like the new ones do, because the new ones are pretty powerful, as far as the flushing capacity. So I thought, like, you get this brand new toilet, this problem was going to go away.
That's what I thought. That's what I hoped. That's what we believed. And guess what? No.
It did not happen.
No, her poop was like a supervillain. You know, I mean, like, it's just the poop.
I won't go away.
You can put more power behind me, but I will stay here.
Is it too big to go down?
It's either big or sticky. Most of the time, it's just too much.
It's too sticky.
I mean, it's just like, dude, and you have to interact with it. That's the part that pisses me off. Like, please just tell me that you backed up the toilet so I don't lift the lid and have that really, really uncomfortable surprise.
What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dustin. Welcome to the men's room.
How's it going, fellas?
Hola.
So I'm a plumber by trade, been doing it a long time. Got into service work not too long ago, and a customer of ours, a lady, called me over and had clogged up a toilet. You could tell she was embarrassed about it, like most people are.
Yeah, so no one's really proud. Like, got great news. No. Backed up the toilet.
Yeah, especially when you got to call some dude you don't know and be like, hey, here, fix this. Yeah. So I go in there and I do the standard stuff. We've got like it's called an air snake. It's like a plunger with a compressor on it. Usually we can just shoot stuff down. It's not a big deal. This one wasn't going down, so I had to go out to the truck and get what's called an auger. It goes down and spins.
Yeah.
And I'm spinning this guy, and I'm pulling it up, and I'm thinking, like, oh, it's wet wipes. 90% of the time, that's what it is. But this cord comes out, and I keep pulling. I'm like, what is this thing? And it's a woman's sex toy with a string and a remote on it.
And it was flushed down the toilet?
It was flushed in the toilet and stuck in the toilet.
Why? Now, let me ask you this. Is she physically present when you're doing this, when you pull the sex toy out?
No, she's in the living room.
And do you have to explain? Do you just say, hey, I got your toilet unclogged, or do you say, hey, I found the problem, and it's a sex toy you tried to flush?
Yeah, that was really uncomfortable, and I took the choice of that one of going, you know what, I'm just going to throw this in the bucket or throw it in the trash with some paper towels around it and just not bring that one up. But I always wondered, did she know?
She had to, well, it depends if she has kids.
She's older. Typically, older people don't move a lot. So they've been there 30 years, 40 years.
Right.
That doesn't mean she didn't have anyone living with her, but at the same time, I mean, my money says like, 2 years, time for me to hop on over to my new apartment. You know, like 70-some-year-old people don't do that.
I mean, maybe if she had grandkids, they found it and they flushed it not knowing what it is, or she straight up tried to flush it.
Right. And that happens with toys, all that stuff. We run into that all the time. This thing getting wrapped up, it was just real strange.
I got the inside of my toilet, like the top part of it, like the whole interior where the ball is and everything, acting all wacky. Is that difficult for someone who doesn't know what the hell they're doing to go in and just replace that thing, like buy the unit at Home Depot and do it?
No, it's like it's one plastic nut, pull it off, and you just replace the inside.
Cut the water and just give it a go? Yeah,
make sure you drain the tank before you do that, or you're going to get water everywhere.
Hey, Dustin, Miles will be calling you soon when he messes this up.
Please email
Dustin, I think you should start with that advice first.
Right.
Drain the tank.
Right.
Then
it's at the men's room at KISW.com, Dustin. You can pay you double. You're in Fremont. Let me know. What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
At around midnight, a private alarm received live images of the presence of a man in a well-known bar in Palma. Security guards reported the incident. Police officers quickly went to the establishment. Once there, the officers noted the presence of a man inside the bar. They also noticed the door and window of the premises were not forced and that the locks were bolted tightly. At that point, the owner of the premises appeared, and the police then entered the bar. Once inside, the man raised his hand saying, "I've done nothing wrong." According to the account of the events, man said he was a regular customer of the establishment and that he'd been drinking all evening. He was so drunk that when he went to the bathroom and sat on the toilet, he fell asleep. Well, the bar closed its doors, and when he woke up and tried to leave the toilets, he found he was alone. When he tried to leave the premises, he realized that he had been locked in, and the alarm kept ringing. The owner of the establishment, he confirmed that he was a regular customer, and that after an initial inspection of the entire premises, nothing had been forced or stolen. In the end, the police identified the suspect, a 29-year-old man from South America, and let him go home to sleep it off.
You know, and you think to yourself, how does the staff not check their bathroom before they close up, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get this text. It says an older Colorado man, he went missing for 5 days. He was later found in a movie theater bathroom stall having suffered a heart attack after he started to stink. The theater staff was quickly dismissed.
Damn.
5 days.
Wow. What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola heads.
Hola.
So I was going to school in Oklahoma at a trade school, and I was sitting in the dorm room, and my dorm room door was right across the door to the bathroom, which is kind of a common bathroom for everybody. And I hear this splash, and then I hear some kind of like a fizzy sound. And then a couple seconds later, kaboom! A huge explosion, man. So I go running out my door, and I see some guy running down the hall, and I go in the bathroom, and I look in this stall, and that toilet is just completely gone off the floor, man. Somebody dropped the M80 in there and just blew that thing to smithereens.
Wow. Were you able to cut the water off?
Oh, I don't know what I'm not really sure. It had the plunger things on the wall, you know, so it wasn't running water, but whatever was in that bowl blew all over. And I had a friend that was sitting taking a dump right next to this thing when it went off, too. So.
I think it was probably bigger. It was probably bigger than an M80, I would guess.
Oh, yeah, it could have been, because that porcelain was just completely gone off the floor, man. It had gone up off the ceiling and shattered all over the floor, man. It was something else.
What about your buddy who's sitting in the stall next to this, or whatever the case? Did he get any shrapnel from this?
No. He just said he heard the same thing I did. Man, it definitely scared him. You know, he probably had a little easier time moving
yeah.
his back.
A lot of people don't realize those wicks are waterproof. You know what I mean? So when you throw them in the water, they're still going to do whatever they do, man.
You ever done, as a kid, I always wanted to drop, a firecracker, M80, cherry bomb, you name it, into a toilet. Never did. Mm-hmm. Now I'm old enough, I probably won't. But it is one of those things I always wanted to do, but I couldn't find a bathroom to be okay. Can't do it in my house. Not even do it at my friend's house. School, I'd get busted. So I'm like, where do I find a toilet where I can do this?
Yeah. Well, we used to do it. We would go hiking and take a couple of explosives with us. Mm-hmm. And that way when we normally camped by a river or a stream or whatever. You find the pool, the deepest pool you can find. You get downstream from that. And then basically you throw that into that pool. And then all the fish come up, and then you grab them, and then you eat them for dinner.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to sit there for hours and fish. Like, we had food with us, but it's always good to have, like, fresh trout, smallmouth bass. It was much easier with...
That's breaking a code, Miles.
It just stuns.
No, I agree with Miles
when you're 14 years
case.
old. Like, we already hiked in, like,
you were 14. I'll give you
12,
credit.
14 miles that day.
I would do
tired.
it now. The difference is this. If I want to go fishing,
we're in the middle
it's
of
a
nowhere.
different part. Like, I'm not trying to catch my dinner. If I catch something, I might eat it. But the goal is to go fishing. I'm drinking beer. I'm probably with some buddies, right? But, like, if I'm just hiking and I'm hungry and I have an explosive and you tell me this truck, hell yeah.
Big ass sunfish.
Because it's like going to Costco. Like I don't want to wait hours to eat.
They're fresh.
Right.
They're still flopping around. They're just not, they're stunned. You know
but I completely get it.
You just pick them up, go fillet them, throw them in the pan.
The one hunting show I watched, that guy was down in South America, like visiting like some people or whatever.
All right.
So same thing. Like the people he's with, they're eating these fish to survive.
Yeah.
But he just wants to catch one. But he's like mortified because they found they use like a root and they put it in like this little pool and the same thing. It doesn't kill them, but it stuns them enough where they just walk up and spear them.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just going to let it go this time. And I was like, well, you're on their land.
But again, that's the difference. They want to eat. If you want to go fishing, I go fishing. I want to eat. I want fish quick.
Well, the Department of Fish and Wildlife would not have been happy about it. That's
sure.
That would have definitely broken the bro code.
Well, don't listen to me. Last time I went trout fishing, I got nothing.
Take explosives.
Yeah.
See?
What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Megan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola. So when I was about 25, I was on the toilet just doing my normal business, and I sneezed, and I herniated a disc about the size of a lime and had emergency back surgery 4 days later.
Oh, damn.
Wow. You sneezed on the toilet and basically ripped your back out?
Yep, pretty much.
Did you have to get help to get off the toilet, or did you will yourself up?
No, I was by myself at the time, so I, willed myself up, and I thought it was like a really bad back spasm because I had back surgery when I was 16 as well.
Now, are you a violent sneezer?
Not normally, but now, I brace myself every time because I'm always afraid it's going to happen again.
I'm afraid it's going to happen to Mike. Mike's a violent sneezer. He like bends over.
Yeah, Mike sneezes
shakes
hard.
His whole body, like his head goes down real hard. I'm like, man, one day you're going to pull your back out or you're going to break a rib.
If you have to sneeze when you're on the toilet now, do you hold it until you're done? What?
If I can, I will, but, sneezes come as fast as they do, so I literally, just brace myself, hold onto the toilet, and try not to move at all.
Is your back still jacked up?
Yeah, I've had 6 back surgeries.
Oh, my God.
Dang.
What the hell is wrong with your back?
You have scoliosis?
Well, when I was 16, I was an avid athlete, and I blew out my back just playing sports, and so I had my first herniated disc, and during that surgery, the doctors messed up and nicked my abdominal aorta artery, which is the second biggest artery in your body, and I didn't know it, so they up and sent me home, and 5 days later, I had to be airlifted for emergency vascular surgery.
Because the blood leaked all over your insides?
Yep, I had a hematoma that was leaking and bleeding, and they said I had about 3 minutes left to live before it burst, and so because I had to have that stomach surgery, I never got to fully do the physical therapy for my back. So that made my back weaker and ended up having, the herniated from the sneeze, and then had a fusion done, and then where they took the bone off my hip to fuse my back turned into a bone.
Time out. I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you're 3 minutes away from death because you sneezed on the toilet?
Yes.
Okay.
That seems unfair.
It seems like an unnecessary chain of events. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll
it's so
say this.
extreme. You know
I normally am not the kind of guy that goes, boy, I'd tell the story of being bitten in half by a shark. I would rather be torn up by the shark than tell someone, look, I sneezed on the toilet, I ruptured an artery and bled out. I mean, there's nothing cool about that, man. And by the way, are you honest with the doctor when you say, look, I sneezed on the toilet and that's why all this happened?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's a funny story to tell. I mean, you can't do anything but laugh about it.
No. All
right.
That's fact.
3 minutes away from death, but
What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
It is amazing how many people have stories about being that close, right? Like, you were with me with the head. They were like, he could have died. I had a buddy that had just had a gallbladder out. He didn't know what was wrong, and he finally went to the doctor, and they were like, you got to go to surgery, 30, 40 minutes, it would have leaked. You would have sepsis.
Is it sepsis, I think?
It's just weird. I feel like a lot of people, are we just always that close to death?
No, I think, look, sometimes legitimately, I think you are. And you know those situations. You were shot in the face, right? But it seems like every time you take anyone to the hospital, if it's the emergency room, for any reason, doctors are trained to tell you how much longer you had to live. I mean, you could have just stubbed your toe you stubbed your toe. If you'd waited until tomorrow to come in here, you could have died. It's like, come on, man. This cannot be true of all things. They say it about everything. We brought my daughter because she busted the back of her head. And she wasn't even like damaged. She cut the back of her head and like, this could have been so much worse. Like, dude,
it could have.
I know,
but it wasn't.
You're right. It could have been. It's just her head's bleeding. That's why we're here.
Bartenders should start doing that. Like, all right, I had my film take off. I could get you much drunker.
If you had one more beer,
right?
You'd have been so drunk.
It's called a Boilermaker.
What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
You were a half hour away from a brownout.
Right. Hello, Manuel. Welcome to the men's room.
What up, bitches?
Hola.
How y'all doing today?
We're doing great. It's Positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
Positive. Yeah, awesome. I like the story so far. Before we start, I wanted to give a quick shout out. My brother's over there. My brother Danny's over there in Seattle right now, so I want to say hey to him. This guy flew from here in California to Dallas. Then stood in the airport for 2 hours to fly from Dallas to Seattle last night on a red eye.
Damn. That's commitment.
Can you guys guess why he's over there?
No.
For the Sounders game?
No.
No, we don't know.
Okay. He's over there to play Pokemon.
Oh, my God.
Okay, we never would have guessed
that. There's no chance we would have guessed that.
Well, if anybody's playing, it's a Halo event, so he's right there trying to rack up a lot of XP. I'm over here doing the same.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
We're not players. But anyways, let me get to the story.
Okay, sorry, our bad.
No, it's all right. Unless you guys want to talk about Pokemon. Positive.
Yes.
So I was with Mike and I was talking to him about a lot of stories. Toilet stories are there's so many toilet stories. So the one he wanted me to put was one time me and the wife, we go to hang out with my friends every Friday, and we have what we call Friday game night. So we play board games and things like that. We'll play beer pong and we'll just drink. This time my wife, she normally doesn't drink, but they had Kahlua and she loves coffee. So they had Kahlua on ice and they gave it to her, and she was just drinking it like it was regular coffee. She's like, this is just like coffee. It doesn't taste, no alcohol. I'm like, okay, just be careful. Okay. So we're drinking and having a good old time, and she's getting pretty wasted. And I'm watching her, and I'm like, okay, well, it's time to go. Let's go home. So we get home, and, of course, when I get home, I feel already plastered, like I'm ready to go to bed. We didn't make it to the bed. We knocked out in the living room. I knocked out on the floor, and she knocked out on the couch. I wake up in the middle of the night, and I just hear a splashing. I'm like, what the hell is that? And eventually I'm like, oh, that's my wife throwing up in the toilet. I went back to sleep. I woke up again to go use the bathroom, and I go in there, and it's puke everywhere except for the toilet. Everywhere. My daughter was in potty trained, and there was a little toilet right there, and that didn't even get touched with throw up. No, it was in the bathtub. It was on the floor. It was on the walls. It was on the door.
It's amazing. It's amazing when people get into that bathroom, the trigger immediately comes on before they even get to the toilet.
Right. No, what she said,
the puke.
She told me she sat down. She told me she sat down and she was using the bathroom, and that she said she felt cold immediately. So when she got up to throw up, she slipped. She said she slipped. She fell on the floor, and it just projectile vomit all through the floor. And when she tried getting up to go to the toilet, she said she just kept throwing up in the bathtub and just everywhere, like The Exorcist. She told me.
Did you make it to the bedroom?
She went to the bed after that. She didn't clean it. That's why I have it on recording. By the way, I have a few recordings. I'll probably send to you guys. You guys can check it out.
Yeah, you have to send us out.
No, we're good.
Yeah,
don't do that, brother. I mean, I appreciate
Boobs
it.
Boobs are fine, but that's terrible.
Yeah, I don't need to vomit everywhere.
No. What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
I didn't want to ask because it was going to go down a wormhole, but he's saying there's a Pokemon tournament?
Yeah, and I guess it's a big deal because he said anyone who knows that it's some specific, like, dude, I wouldn't have guessed that in 10 million years.
You can't get a hotel room downtown.
Because of the Pokemon?
That's what I'm guessing.
So what are they doing? I mean, like, what?
I mean, I know there's certain spots downtown that you can find them, but I'm like, if it's at a tournament, hotel room downtown. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Could be like, there's like the arena's not open yet. So I'm like, where are they having this?
I don't know. I'll keep my eye out for Pokemon players, I guess.
What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
They'll be the ones walking, looking at their phones.
That's how you can figure it out. Yeah. Sure. Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, puntas.
Hola.
All right, so I am accident prone up one side and down the other. You can ask. I should have been born in bubble wrap. And I managed to knock myself out twice in my life on a toilet.
How?
The first time I was, there's 2 sheets to the wind, and then there's a linen factory sucked up by a tornado. That's about where I was, and I went to go throw up. I threw up in the toilet, thought everything was fine, and when I tilted my head back, the room started tilting while I wasn't moving. So I went to go throw up again. I went down too fast and cracked my skull on the toilet, knocked out.
Okay.
A second time, we had kittens that like to put their claws underneath our door from our bathroom and tear up the carpet, so I got a bad idea to put a cinder block there to stop them. Well, one night I wanted to go to the bathroom. I thought I stepped over the cinder block. No, my foot got locked up in it. It locked my knee, and I fell straight-bodied right down and cracked my temple on the side of the toilet.
Jesus Christ, man.
Did you knock yourself out again?
Yeah. This is for the second time.
Okay.
My girlfriend at the time came in, and I was just sort of crumpled on the side of the toilet, sawing logs with a big old lump on the side of my head. And I'm pretty sure she just said, not this again.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. You have carpet in your bathroom?
No. We had a bathroom, so there was a door that went into the hallway, but in our bedroom, there was another door that went into the bathroom. The cats would go into the bathroom and start clawing at our carpet.
Okay. I got you.
gotcha.
There's something weird about that carpeted bathroom, man. I've been in it like 5 or 6 times in my life, and it just never...
It never smells right.
It just skeeves me out, man. It's like I'd almost rather be barefoot in a locker room than walk in there with shoes on.
I think the carpeted bathroom says this is a classy place.
Really?
I mean, that hotel I was... No, not really. I'm just saying, the hotel I was in that had holes in the ceiling and they didn't clean the rooms, there was carpeted bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You walk into any public bathroom, and I don't know what goes on in ladies' bathrooms, but for guys, in spite of there being a urinal directly in front of you, somehow there's always pee on the floor, right? Always on the floor. So if you have carpet, I'm like, I know there's pee in your carpet. And
there's water from the shower.
Right, all the stuff, man.
Like your floorboards are probably completely beginning to rot out if they're not already rotted out.
And they'll smell weird.
The padding stinks like crap.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's around the urinal just because, like, at your toilet, you're hovering over it.
Yeah, I never understood that particular mat. You know what I mean?
Like, there's just enough space for a drip to get through.
Yeah, I'm like, don't put that in front of the toilet.
What did the toilet have to do with the story? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.